What's going on, guys? Aero here, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. So just recently we got that Pokemon Direct that we were all looking forward to, and I gotta say that Direct definitely exceeded my expectations. I mean, if you guys saw my predictions video, then you know that I wasn't really expecting that much. I was expecting like the early Pokemon to be shown, like a early rodent type of Pokemon, an early bird type of Pokemon, but we ended up getting some pretty unique Pokemon that I think we're probably gonna see later in the game. So those are pretty cool Pokemon. We also got to see a lot of the region. I really like it, and it seems like the graphics have improved as well, so I was very happy after seeing that. And then they went into extensive detail about a lot of the other things in the game, and I gotta say one of my favorite parts about that entire Direct was that new wild area that they talked about, and that just seems like it's gonna be so much fun because it's essentially an open world Pokemon game once you get to that area, and you're gonna be able to move the camera freely, you're gonna be able to roam around, Pokemon are still in the overworld, so that's gonna be a ton of fun. Then we also got to see some of the characters in the game, which are also pretty cool, and then finally they talked a little bit about that crazy new game mechanic which is going to be in this game called Dynamaxing, which allows you to be able to make your Pokemon humongous, and they're going to have better moves, you're going to be able to use really powerful attacks for 3 turns, so it all seems like it's going to be a crazy game. Now what if I told you while we were all watching that Direct, there was somebody who was sitting there carefully, who was watching it and knowing that they had fully leaked that entire Direct 2 weeks before it even happened. So just after that Pokemon Direct ended, a lot of people noticed that there was actually a leak that happened on 4chan 2 weeks ago where a person typed up a huge paragraph about information on Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that pretty much turned out to be exactly what they showed in the Direct. And this isn't just some leaker who got 1 or 2 things correct. There was another leaker who predicted the names of the legendary Pokemon. They said that the names were going to be Zacian and Zamazenta, so they got that correct, but this person literally got everything in the Direct correct. Like 99% of the Direct in terms of content is pretty much in their post, and they also have a whole bunch of other information that wasn't in the Direct, and so if they got 99% of the Direct right, it pretty much confirms that all the other information in this is probably accurate as well, and it is pretty interesting information, so I am going to read it through with you guys, but at this point, with all of this information pretty much being confirmed with the Direct, I'm gonna say that this is pretty much a spoiler, so if you don't want to be spoiled on potentially some new characters in the game, as well as some other Pokemon, as well as what the story might be like, then I suggest that you click off the video right now because we're gonna be getting into it, and I'm gonna be reading a lot about what it's gonna be like. Alright, you're still here? Good, I like you, let's get started. So the first thing that we have here is that it says, your rival is named Hop, but you will also be facing off against Bede and Murny. So the person already got the rival's name correct because we did learn in the trailer that the rival's name is going to be Hop. And they also mentioned in the Direct that Hop is one of your rivals, so it looks like that the other 2 are going to be Bede and Marnie, according to this leak. It says Team Yell is the gang in this game who are well-meaning fans of Marnie causing trouble. And so it looks like that Team Yell is going to be like the evil organization in this game. It's a pretty interesting name. I wouldn't have thought that the evil team was going to be called Team Yell, but it's whatever, I guess we'll see what it is. So it says that they're well-meaning fans of Marnie, so it looks like that this Marnie character, whoever that person is, looks like they're actually going to have some connection with Team Yell, so maybe this Marnie person could actually turn out to be evil or not that good of a friend as we think they are, so that's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out with the story. The next thing here is a little bit about gyms. It says to become a part of the gym challenge, you will need to get an endorsement. Bede gets an endorsement from Chairman Rose and his secretary Olina. Now I have no clue what this means because we don't know anything about these characters, but it seems like you're going to need an endorsement to be able to go and face off against gyms, and that does make sense because of how all the gyms are stadiums in this game and you're essentially like a player competing. It makes sense, you're kind of going to need to get an endorsement like all other professional players. Now next up we've got some information about the legendaries. It says here that Eternus is the evil legendary. So we didn't actually see anything called Eternus, so that makes it seem like it's probably going to be maybe some sort of 3rd legendary. There's also a rumor that there's going to be a 3rd legendary that has the shield and a sword at the same time. That kind of does make sense, so I guess that's probably like the evil legendary. It says here that the other 2 legendaries will be a wolf who will either have a shield main or hold a sword like Great Wolf Sif, and if you don't know who that is a boss from Dark Souls, and if we take a look at that picture, the way that that boss holds the sword is exactly like how Zacian holds it in Pokemon Sword. Now the thing about the evil legendary kind of does make a lot of sense because if you remember the trailer when they showed off the legendary Pokemon, you can see that they were kind of fighting each other in the beginning, but once they noticed something rustling with the leaves above them, they both stopped and kind of got into a position together to fight off something more, and it seems like that was kind of hinting at this evil legendary. The next thing that it says here is that Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing are new dynamics that will supersize Pokemon in specific areas. Gigantamaxing is different from Dynamaxing as it changes what the Pokemon will look like. Meowth looks like a long cat, Lapras gets layers like musical bars to its shell and musical notes, and Pikachu looks like retro fat Pikachu. Now this is crazy because remember, this was all said back in May before we even knew anything about the direct, so this person got the whole entire mechanic of Dynamaxing correct. And so according to this leak, there's also going to be another mechanic called Gigantamaxing, and this one's actually going to change like the design of the Pokemon and what they look like. Now after the direct, I definitely did see a couple people complaining about Dynamaxing. There were just a few people saying that they weren't really all that impressed with how it is, because compared to what we've gotten in the past with like Mega Evolutions and Z-moves, Dynamaxing is just the Pokemon getting bigger and then it gets this red glow around it. It's not all that hype compared to what we've seen in the past. Now personally, I don't feel like this at all. I think that the whole mechanic of Dynamaxing was really cool and I'm really looking forward to it, but I can kind of see where people are coming from in the way that they're saying like it's not all that impressive, and so for those people, it looks like that this whole mechanic of Gigantamaxing is really what's going to blow you away. The next thing that it says here is that Sonia is Leon's former rival who is researching the Dynamax phenomenon at the behest of her grandmother and professor of the game. So once again, all of this information completely correct. They didn't say that Leon is the champion, but they pretty much got his name correct. Sonia's name, they got that correct as well. And it says here that Sonia is Leon's former rival. So is Sonia actually like a powerful trainer in this game? It kind of makes you wonder. She's working as an assistant for the professor in this game, but maybe she could actually be a really strong trainer that we're going to find out about later. This next part is really interesting because it talks about regional evolutions, and so it says here that some Pokemon like Farfetch'd will get regional evolutions and turn into Surfetch'd. Meowth looks like a ball of spiky gray fur. So it says regional evolutions, so that kind of makes you think like, are these going to be evolutions that they're only going to get inside of the Galar region? Because if that's the case, then I'm kind of going to be a little bit disappointed, even if they look cool, because I just want them to get flat out normal evolutions like forever. But if we still get something cool, I think that'll be nice to see, that like Pokemon are going to get regional evolutions, Pokemon that deserve them, like definitely Farfetch'd is one of them. I hope to see ones for like Dunsparce and other Pokemon like that too. Now the next thing here is that it mentions some new Pokemon. It says here that Scabat and Greedon, if I recall correctly, are chipmunk Pokemon who will hide in berry trees and attack randomly if you shake for too many berries. If they attack, you will lose half the berries that dropped. Now we do know for a fact that berry trees are confirmed to be in the game. They were shown in the video. You can see that there is a trainer who's shaking the tree and berries do fall out of it. And we also know that there probably is going to be a chipmunk Pokemon, because right after the trailer, we actually got to see someone who discovered that on one of the characters, when they're cheering in the audience like during a stadium game, you can see that there's actually like a design on their shirt for a chipmunk-like Pokemon, and this Pokemon definitely doesn't exist yet. We haven't seen anything like this, and a lot of times in the past we have seen that trainers usually have designs of Pokemon on them. I think like Tierno from X and Y had like a Vanillite on his, so it probably means that there is going to be a chipmunk Pokemon, and that's probably what this is talking about. It says that the fourth gym is the fairy type gym led by actress Apple. Milo, Nessa, and Kebu are the first ones. Now the only gym leader that we got to see in the direct was Milo, and if it says here that Milo is the first one, it does make sense why Game Freak would show that one first, if that's going to be like the first gym leader that we're going to get used to. So it does make a lot of sense, and I guess that these are going to be the other names of them, so whenever we do see like the second gym leader or the third gym leader or the fourth gym leader, if any of those names match up, then it just gives this leak even more credibility. So it also says here that before fighting the gym leaders, you will have to complete the gym challenges. Milo has you herding sheep that are named Wooloo, but Pamper and Electric Corgi Pokemon will startle them and send them rolling elsewhere. So this is pretty much confirmed because we did get to see a brand new sheep Pokemon in that direct, and it is in fact named Wooloo. It says Nessa has you running through a maze where water blocks the way, and Kebu requires you to catch a Pokemon and get 5 points, but you have to be in a party battle with another trainer who's also trying to catch it. And so the thing about Wooloo was completely correct in the direct, and they also mentioned a little bit about something called a party battle and attempting to catch a Pokemon with someone else, and that kind of goes along with that raid battle that they showed off in the direct as well, so a lot of the stuff still lines up. The next thing that it says here is that while there is a transit system, you will have to go through the wild area at times, an open world biome that has a weather system, and little pockets where wild Pokemon Dynamax and have to get beaten in a 4-person raid. You will randomly see nearby players and interact with them to get their league cards and items. So once again, all of this completely correct. Transit system, we did see that there's going to be trains that are going throughout the region, so that makes a lot of sense. They got the name of the wild area completely correct. They got the explanation of it correct as well. It's like an open world biome. You get to run around, roam around in that, and find all the Pokemon in the overworld. It's going to have different weather, so all of that stuff completely correct. The next thing here is that it says camping is going to be how you play with your Pokemon. You'll get 2 toys, a feather toy and a toy Pokeball, which can raise friendship. You can also make curry, which will raise stats and friendliness. Now while they didn't mention anything about camping in the direct, we actually got pretty much like a confirmation that camping is in fact going to be in the game by a little screenshot that we got to see in the trailer. So in the trailer for like 2 seconds, you can see that there's a Sobble with some hearts coming out of it, and in the background there's a tent. So this is definitely like the camping thing that they're talking about. You're going to be able to pet your Pokemon here and feed them and all that good stuff. I just don't know if this is going to be something that you can do anywhere. Like, are you just going to have like a tent item basically that you can use wherever you are, or if there's going to be like designated locations that are camping spots throughout the region and you have to go there in order to do all this stuff. We're going to have to find out, but it seems like that camping is pretty much also confirmed to be in the game. Now this next part is about the starter Pokemon. It says that Scorbunny will have fighting type moves, but is pure fighter. It becomes Raboot, but I don't remember the final evolution, except that it looks like a fighter, it looks humanoid. Sobble becomes Sizzle, and then Inteleon, a chameleon with a spy theme, and Grookey will end up as a giant gorilla that beats a wooden drum to attack. Now the only bit of confirmation that we have for this is that Scorbunny does learn the move Double Kick, and we have a screenshot of that, and he does say that Scorbunny will have fighting type moves. That's about the only thing that we have right now, but we do have some names thankfully. It says Raboot, it also says Sizzle, and then Inteleon. So when they show the second evolutions, if Scorbunny's is called Raboot, then this gets more credibility, and I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see if all this stuff ends up being true. And finally, the last thing that it says here is that the best new Pokemon so far is the blue seagull, who when it dives either gets a Barracuda in its mouth or a Pikachu, which it launches at its enemy. So this sounds like a really sick Pokemon from the way that he's mentioning it. Like, apparently every time it dives it catches a Pikachu, and then you can use the Pikachu and throw it at the enemy. That sounds ridiculous. I guess we're gonna have to just wait and see what that Pokemon is. And really the last thing that it says here is that there's a lot I'm missing. I wasn't planning on leaking until now. I'm angry and upset, and while I liked what I saw, I didn't get too far. And so this is all just ridiculous because all of it got confirmed in the recent Pokemon Direct, and there's still so much information here that we don't know about, and I think that this is just going to be one of those posts that's going to get more and more credible the more information we get. And it's just so amazing because how did this person get to play up until the 4th gym? Because if they're giving information up until the 4th gym and saying I didn't get too far, they definitely got to play the game for a while, and they're saying that there's a lot of stuff that they still didn't mention. How did they get to play this game up until that point in May and leak all this information? What kind of a person is this? Like, is this someone at Nintendo? I'm so curious, but like, this is all just so crazy that we have all this information. And so there you go guys, that's the big leak that we have right now for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, and I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see as we get more information to see if it lines up with the other stuff inside of this post and ends up becoming more credible. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button and also comment down below and let me know what you guys think of this. What did you think of the Pokemon Direct? Are you looking forward to Pokemon Sword and Shield? What do you think about this leak? Do you think that it could be real? Do you think that it's fake? What do you think that it could mean in terms of the information? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon content in the future, so please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo and Xenoblade, so definitely be sure to join that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.